Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. And I got a nice lesson for you today. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. You getting life lessons from me? I'm giving to you. You tuning and receiving them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's go. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Everything that right thinking predicated on is getting you to know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. All right thinkers' goal should be to know thyself. We work together and make it happen. Let's go. So I ask you the question: do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Excuse me. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and always to my yacht. Be true. I told you we going into the in the Bible they did the begetting. He begot that. Jesse begot them. He begot everybody. So I'm gonna give you the 6 generations of evolution from the subtlest to the gross combination that brought forth the generation of divinities from the Egyptian tree of life concept. This is what it looks like. You see at the top, you see the infinity sign at the top? That's with the noon. From there you got Ra, Shu, Tufnut, Geb, Nut. Then you got Asar, Aset, Set, and Netet, along with at the bottom. Okay, that's the 4. But the last 2 is going to be 4 generations. This is going to be the 2 with your ego and your higher self. Okay, so let's start with right thinkers. Let's talk about these are the combinations that brought forth the generations of deities from Haru to Haru and Het Haru. Okay, how about that? I'm gonna take you through all of them right quick. Now, let's go. Started from infinity, that's the noon. Ra, let there be, became the sign for God, his only begotten son, spelled S-U-N, not S-O-N. Moving on, keep trying to emphasize that. They were sun worshippers. They were, and the problem with that, they understood. Watch this. And from Ra, he tells you, I was 1, I became 3. From the 1, he begot Shu, represented air, Tufnut, water. They got together. They begot Geb and Nut. Nut and Geb begot. It started. Those are the elements. There's 5 of them. Ra represents fire, earth, wind, the elements. That's nature. That's what was set in place before the man was put in place. The 6th element, Asar. According to this, he's the 4th generation. It starts with Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephet. That's the 4 for the 4 children of Nut and Gad. They had a son, the 5th. They represent the 5 extra days of the year. We went from 360 to 365. They break it down to the 5 children that Nut had. Good story, good explanation. Moving on. But we got the 4 generations, and the 5th generation will be Ampu, when you have spirit and nature come together. Then you got Haru Prakar, which is the baby son from Asar, and Aset. That's the 6 generations. Now let's go. 6 generations bring forth the main divinities of the Anuian theology. Remember, you had Anuian, you had the Assyrian, you had the Nephites, and the Wasat. So everybody had their concept. We're dealing with the Anuian. Okay. Now, from the infinite, I showed you the top, the known, aka Ra emerged. He's number one. He brings forth Shu Tefnut that represents number two. I was one, I became three. And because he had the ability to impregnate, so to speak, and give birth, meaning male and female aspects, so he brought him back to life. Shu being male, Tefnut being female, and everything after that came down like that, male and female, masculine and feminine, however you want to look at it. But it's all complementary opposites as you go down. After Ra, everything else came dual. So watch this. Now, the second group begot forth Shu and Tefnut brought forth Geb and Nut. Then in turn, Geb gave birth to who? Asar, the first spirit, soul in humans. Aset, the intuitive part. Set, your ego part of you. Nephet, your human mortality part. Haru is where you want to end up, king of yourself while in the physical form before leaving Earth. Moving on. Asar and Nephet gave birth to Anpu. That's the 5th generation. He represents discernment. You got to have him. You have to have your discernment. I can prove that as we go. And then between Asar and Aset, they begot to Haru, Perkar, which is the baby Haru, okay, which is you. We born into what? Ignorance. We had to what? Know ourselves, getting knowledge from who? Our mother. Learn to be what? Our best self with the qualities that we're gonna learn. Start out with Shu and Tefnut right quick. Okay, we good. Now, Ra gave rise to Shu and Tefnut. Shu is, now here we go. This is how it breaks down. Shu is the principle, but we do have air and space. Some call it ether. And space is the first aspect or element of the divine that is necessary in order for his creation to be possible. He put air here first before we got here. He made it possible that it would always be here for us. That's being all conscious. Now, in Eastern mystical teachings, this principle is referred to as ether, okay? The name I keep explaining to you, what you call it means nothing, but to every culture they have a name. But what it is the same. And the next principle of creation is Tefnut. She symbolizes the subtle potential dynamic energy of they call the life force within all creation. We call it Sekhem or serpent power, and that's the female aspect. And she is that which allows what? Creation to have movement. We talked about them last week. I got that lesson for you. All right. But she is represented as what? A lioness. And she is related to the ancient Egyptian goddess known as Sekhmet. In the Memphite theology, Sekhmet is Ptah's wife. Okay? Their son is Nefertiti, the beautiful one. But everybody has a Trinity story. Okay? But this is the original, this is the concept, and this is what it's based on. Principles. Sekhmet. Sekhmet is what? The goddess who presides over Sekhem, the power, female aspect, or what we call serpent power, life force of all things. Now we go to Geb and Nut. Geb is represented by the male, female. The male. Why? Because Earth at that time was flat or permanent. The female heaven, she moves, starry deck heaven. So the night sky with the stars, that's Nut. That's what it represents. So you got Shu and Tefnut, which gave rise to who? Geb and Nut, earth and heaven, respectively. So from the subjective essence, from the subtlest, the lightest, down to more concrete essence of creation, Ra being the subtlest principle, space and life force energy, emerged. Now from space and life force energy even more dense principles arise, and these constitute what? The physical world, which is the stars, the planets, outer space, etc. Thus, from Ra, the basic principle of creation emanated, and this sets the stage for what? Existence, you ready? Of human beings. Here we come. And the life forms of creation. Notice that all of the principles, Shu, Tufnu, Geb, and Nu, are what? Are pairs. Told you, opposites, which have been given male and female iconographs, meaning feminine, masculine. It don't only have to be male and female. We get an identity to make it fit to understand. So this point to the teachings that what? Existence is an opposites which have given, this points to the teaching that what? Existence is a mingling, coming together of what? Opposite principles which emanate from a single essence. However, in and of these, in and of themselves, they are not what constitute life from the human point of view, but because they do not what? Contain the dynamic consciousness of the self, or what we call spirit, aka Ra, in the proper manner to allow reasoning, feeling, etc. to manifest. Why? Reasoning, feeling, memory, action, love, and other capacities are what constitutes human existence. In order for these to manifest, the proper combination of what? Matter, physical, and spirit, God, must be present. The human body without spirit is dead. Simple as that. That's why they put it back in the ground and it go back into the earth where it come. It's what's in the body that don't die. That's what we got to get to understand. And the next 5 deities represent that melding of God and creation, which allows what? Human life to exist and to be also sustained. Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephthah. Those are the children, those are the personality characteristics of you, the human being. Watch it break down. I got you. Watch this. Geb and Nu begot who? Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephthah. Asar and Aset represents, you ready? The epitome of human existence. Why? In the view of the myth, Asar is seen as the soul of creation, a reflection of the divine consciousness, Ra. Aset represents what? Intuitional knowledge, or the wisdom which transcends time and space. That's immortality. And when united with the soul, ding, 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 we're the offspring. You get the concept? Hope you're following along. So you got Set and that they represent what? Your lower nature of human. Why? Set is the egoistic will of the human being. That which is what? You ready? This is why your lower nature should be conquered. It's selfish. We know people who like that. Greedy. We know people who got that personality trait. Impulsive. We know about them. And full of what? Desires for what? Pleasures of the flesh. Do we know anybody like that? I always tell you, if the people I'm laying out to you, you don't know nobody like that, look in the mirror. It may be you. And if it is, you have to make some changes. Watch this. So therefore, Set is the aspect of what? Human being that is prone to becoming involved with what? Inexhaustible, involved with and exasperate what? The desires and the egoistic tendencies of the mind. A weak-minded person, an uneducated person, unintelligent person, not a person who's not thinking right will do what? When this occurs, a human being does not see things clearly and will become what? Mentally enslaved, as if were what? By his or her own desires. And that's probably what it is. Feelings, emotions, and detachments for what? Worldly objects and for worldly experiences. We are spiritual beings, came into human form to have a human experience, to learn a lesson. And I keep explaining it to you. Knowing thyself is the life lesson and the goal which you should try to strive for. Why? Because everything else really means nothing. That's why all the worldly possessions, all the worldly experiences, all the sex you can have, all the drugs you can accumulate, all the fame you can have, all of that means nothing at the end of this physical life. Moving on. And this is known as what? As spiritual ignorance. Again, when you're spiritually ignorant, you're ego driven. Spiritually ignorant or you're bondage to what? World of time and space. All you want is stuff of this world. It's also the cause of, you ready? When you enjoy this world so much that nothing else matters, you're going to, at Judgment Day, stand accused for all your actions and you're going to have a heavy heart. So what happened? You'll be reincarnated. Simple. And it's the cycle of what? Birth and death, which what? Every human being suffers until what? You ready? Until they attain spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself, or we call it nihas. When you reach a level of enlightenment of oneself, you know thyself, and that's called nihas. They can't define it because it's our word. Moving on. Let me get this lesson over with. I see the clock. Now, Nethet, she represents mortality. We know that the physical body will die. That's mortality, the concept, understanding the physical body, and all that is transient in human existence. She is physical nature itself, which transforms what? Itself constantly. Death, regenerated. Death, plants, when they get cold, they go into hibernated state, aka death, and they come back regenerated. Again, when the weather turns different, that's what she represents, nature. Constant rebirth and death. Okay, the cycle of life. And bringing forth life only to see it what? Die and what? Be reborn again. Humans, we can break that cycle if what? You obtain knowledge of self, aka spiritual enlightenment. Thus, she what? She also resides what? Over reincarnation. But also she represents another important principle of human existence, which is what? That is the quality of what? Devotion in all life, which is expressed in its highest degree through what? The emotion of love, which manifests in every human being. That love, she fell in love with Asar, which is the spirit, the soul. That is to say, she is devoted to him and wants to mate with him. And that's what happened. In other words, symbolically, mortality desires immortality. And what they bring forth, discernment, the freedom of the soul. How could that be? When she mates with Asar, they bring forth, begat who? Ampu. Y'all know him as Anubis, the Akkadian bomber, but he represents your personality aspect of discernment. And who represents, you ready? Right discernment, aka right thinking. He's the original right thinker. He ain't to be messed with. Therefore, upon discovering Ampu conscious is spelled Conscience, mean it's a scientific proven concept. That's when they spell the hard conscious that way, meaning it's been scientifically proven. Theology is God with science mixed together. They work like a charm. So you got Apu consciousness, meaning the heart. No longer does you, a person, will what? Desire worldly things. Why? For their own sake. You are no longer, and does a person care to think about the body, mortality, and infinite existence behind the principles of Nethet. But they now turn towards what? What is true in life. When we learn to give our young the truth, they will be fine. Why? Humans love manifests in various degrees. Some people love what? Themselves. That's okay. That's a start. Shouldn't be the end. And what they love themselves, and that's in a selfish way. Caring for what? Caring for only themselves alone. This condition is, set. Hello. Operating through them. Others love material objects and sense of pleasure. Again, you know who that is? This is also set. Although in a more expanded manifestation of love. Now he wants to love somebody else. He wants to be loved, okay? Others love what? Family members. We're obligated to love them because they are family. Moving on. And still what? Others love their community, which is good. My pastor, church he's in, he wants to help the community. So I get that concept too. And then you got love may expand to what? Include one's country, patriotism, or even humanity. That's where I'm at. The country, not so much. Humanity, count me in. And what? The highest love in time and space is for what? God transcending that it's neptet, nurture, the absolute, the one. Now, as the feeling of love expands, a person loves the earth and the heavens, and then the subtle essence which enlivens creation itself, God. And beyond that, again, nurture. Thus, they grow into universal love, and in so doing, they are actually growing in cosmic consciousness. I call it God consciousness. Why? Because God is universal love itself. The cosmic expansion of love and devotion for all that exists, that's true love for mankind. Simple as that. Well put. Let me wrap it up for you. I'm going to do this next one. I got some more stuff, so we're going to end it here. I see the clock. I don't want to keep you too long. Let's talk about Nephet right quick. Nephet is the reflection of who? I said. The opposite. Immortality, mortality. Her name means Lady of the House. And the house here amplifies what? Mortality, the physical body, or the physical human existence, which exists where? In creation, which is also in time and space right now. Whereas Aset now represents what? The subtle spirit realm, which transcends mortality. In any case, they are one and the same goddess, expressing in what? Two forms. Remember, opposites, but they come together. In the subtle as well as the gross aspect. Aset being subtle, Nephet being gross, of creation in human consciousness. You are aware of your humanity, and you should be aware of your immortality. Mortal and immortal. The fact that they are both consorts of who? Asar, the spirit. Okay. He impregnated both of them, and then the outcome, he made it with them. The outcome is with mortality, it was Anubis. With intuition and wisdom, it's Haru, me and you. Okay? And it points to the fact that the soul, Asar, is wedded to the subtle Aset as well as the gross essence of Nephet, of creation. It is notable while Nephet is supposed to be what? The consort of Set. Remember, Set can't reproduce. She is nevertheless drawn to who? The spirit, Asar. Set produces no offspring. Again, when I hear people who claim to be Egyptologists know about it, and they say Set's daughters, I get very upset. He don't have none. Can't have none. Why? Ego is one of a kind thing, one person. And watch this, he can give no offspring with her. In the same way, a life, watch this, of vice, egoism, and selfishness, principles of Set, produces no offspring in the form of what? Spiritual enlightenment, abiding joy, peace, or happiness, but only, you ready? Illusory ego conscious. Meaning you just want what you want. And it's frustrating and it's unsettling and it's also what brings on discontent. So if you are egoistic, you're never going to be happy. That's the concept. I want to stop, but I want to keep going, but I'm gonna stop right here and right there because I'll be right back. But in closing, may all you live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never knew that right there because like he passed away. I'll be back with the next lesson for you.